Hello, welcome to Conversations Worth Your While, a show in which I chat with really cool people about interesting topics to spark, inspire, and motivate personal and professional change. I'm Linda Bucher, Master Life Coach, author, and speaker, and I love helping smart, passionate people to lighten their load, unleash their gifts on the world, and live joyful, balanced lives. And today I have the pleasure of being joined by Meshell Baker. And Meshell is a confidence igniter. And she's going to tell you a little bit more about what that is. And today our topic is keys to unlocking unstoppable confidence. And this conversation is worth your while if you would love to finally feel confident in all aspects of your life. And we're going to share why that's going to be so awesome. We'll cover what is confidence and why does it matter. We'll talk about the barriers and the things that zap your confidence. And then we'll finish with how to finally cultivate confidence that is truly unstoppable. So hi, Meshell. Thank you for being here today. How are you?
I'm good. Hello, Linda. Glad to be here, and thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So Meshell, why don't you tell our audience a little bit more about what you do and who you serve?
Happily. My name is Meshell Baker, as you've heard. I am a sales and confidence coach, and I work in the area of the psychology of selling, which to me just simply means confidence. So whereas some of my colleagues actually work with the competence and they help with like sales playbooks and sales processes and all the different methodologies of how you actually sell. I work with the mindset, what people are really saying to themselves and how they feel about themselves during the sales process. Mm-hmm. So, and that to help them to be more confident, because it's actually something the buyer experiences, or if you're an employee, for example, your colleagues and your supervisors and managers experience you on a daily basis based on how you feel about yourself. So my work is around empowering, encouraging, and helping ignite people to feel amazing about themselves so that their deliverables are just as incredible.
Woo, you have so much energy when you say that. That's a very beautiful thing. So tell me why this topic, unstoppable confidence, is worth your while to speak with me about.
Well, it's interesting. So when you say it's worth my while, it's worth my while because this is what I do. So my gift is actually igniting confidence. So I can't not give my gift away. It doesn't even make sense. It would be suppressing who I am and why I was created for the purposes of humanity. So that's what makes it worth my while. It lights me up. And it's absolutely incredible to see someone go from being, insecure or doubtful or just suppressed in who they are and how they show up in the workplace to seeing them become, a leader and become someone who is delivering results and a high performer and just really enjoying who they are and how they are created to serve.
Yes. So let's start with, what is confidence and why does it matter?
So confidence is actually, by the definition, it is the feeling of certainty, right? In yourself or something else. It's all it is. It's a feeling, it's an emotion. And what happens is, and why it's necessary is because we are, human meaning makers, right? All humans do all day long is give meaning to things. And most often that meaning is tied to the feeling. And most of your feelings are not serving you, right? If you have not intentionally decided to create a target of who you want to become and clarify why that's important to you, you are walking around feeling and defining life based off of a standard or a set of historical key points that have transpired in your life. So helping people to feel and be confident, and why it's important is that you clarify and you're confident in a favorable future, not a past that has not been favorable. And it doesn't mean that your past wasn't favorable, but really about how you actually show up and integrate all the circumstances, situations that are happening to you and tie them to a better outcome. That's why I do the work I do. And that's why I believe confidence is very important to people.
Yes. And so you bring up uncertainty. Uncertainty and paralysis kind of go hand in hand in my experience with the clients that I work with. When people are uncertain, nobody wants to waste time going in the wrong direction. So they just stand still and wait for it to hit them on the head. Which way should I go? Which way should I go? And it's because they don't trust themselves, that they don't have that certainty of which way to go. So that's a really important thing when you're cultivating confidence, is to recognize when you hit the great wall of uncertainty, it's because some part of you thinks someone else knows better than you, but you instinctually, you always know the way. And that great wall of uncertainty is really just an illusion when you are far from who you are and what's true and right for you. So I love that you brought up uncertainty. And for people who are feeling like they're standing still, like they're up to their knees in muck, that's usually the reason. And this place that they're in when they're paralyzed is like this place, I call it hoping and waiting. It's the most powerless place in the universe. All the land of all the people who are just hoping and waiting. There is zero empowerment there because they're hoping and waiting for someone or something else to change for them, to give them the answer. And I remember when I was first feeling that internal dissonance, like, I don't know whose life I'm meant to be living, but it's not this one. But so what is the answer? What is life? And I wanted that clarity so bad. So what did I do? Like everybody else, I looked outside myself. I went in the want ads. Oh, you tell me who I am and what I'm supposed to be doing, right? I asked other people. I took a poll. I didn't start with going within and saying, you know, what's true and right for me? Because when we can finally get to the point where we ask ourselves that question, that is when we can start to begin this journey of confidence, and when we're conquering this uncertainty and getting clarity. So I love that you brought that up. Thank you very much. So let's talk about, I talked a little bit, I guess I segued kind of into it, the things that zap confidence, the confidence busters that people experience, the barriers to confidence. In your experience, what do you see in this arena?
Well, it's interesting because I don't know if there's anything that really zaps confidence, because I find that to be an intriguing term, because confidence is, once you're truly confident, it is integrated into you as your identity. So you won't be zapped. You might have a pause. You might actually go and do some analysis or have some conversations and then go back and face it in a different manner with more intelligence to equip you to move through it. Because confidence, again, it's an emotion, right? It is just the feeling in the moment about a situation, circumstance, or person that's external to you that has challenged what you believe to be true about yourself and your capabilities. So when something is, it's not that it zaps you, it's that it creates doubt. So I don't know, like the term is zapped. It's that you no longer believe in your capability. And when someone is truly confident, they will not settle for that disbelief. They'll go back, they go back and equip themselves. It's just like if somebody's building something and they show up and they don't have the hammer, they go back to the truck or go to the Home Depot and they get the hammer. And that's what a truly confident person will do. Someone, however, who is like the people who tend to wing it, for example, when they think they need the stress to be prepared, they are not zapped. What happens is, in the moment of necessity of confidence, they have nothing to draw from. So then they will start to make excuses and justifications and do external blaming about why. So they're not even zapped. They just will be shut down when they face something that they're not equipped for. And that's the thing about confidence is it's an ongoing thing. Again, emotions are triggered by your belief system, and your belief system is interacting with something external. So if you have not built up that belief system, then when you're triggered, it has nothing to draw from. So there's, like I said, I don't know if there's actually a zapping, but the work that I do and the research and, how I've equipped myself to help my clients is to prepare them. So even if you make the pause, you will internally, your inner voice, which is that confidence. So it's either a critic, I call it the critic, or the champion. The critic will either come out or the champion will come out. And even if the critic does come out when you're equipped, the champion will stop you and say, we don't do that anymore. Right? Or so it will pause you, because now you have learned to talk to yourself and prepared yourself for and understand that nothing goes the way you want it to. Life rarely, if ever, goes the way. You're always a successful and a confident person is equipped for the unplanned, the unexpected, inconvenience, uncertainty, naysayers, critics, setbacks, denials, delays, deterrences, distractions. All of that is going to happen. And the only way to have success, ongoing, consistent, and increasing is to prepare yourself for such a time.
Yes, that's beautiful. Thank you. Very well put too. You're very good at explaining this. I love that you touch upon this fact that our thoughts and beliefs are what cause our emotions. And that's kind of like happiness 101, confidence 101, everything 101 starts with that fact and really knowing it. So I love the more people that share that fact, the better. So thank you. You know, sometimes when we think we're confident in an area, because you also brought up the fact that there are triggers. There are triggers that shake our foundation of confidence. And if we're not equipped to say, nope, I'm standing on a very firm foundation, I am confident. If we don't feel that, that means we need to do some work on that trigger. Okay. I have a really interesting story. I had been a certified life coach for a couple of years. And I applied for master coach training and certification, which was a very difficult application process, but I made it. There was a whole 12 of us accepted that year for that program. And at the culmination of the program, I spent 5 days physically in my 5-day final exam with, you know, the guru, right? And a couple of other master coaches that were like, oh, right? It's like, oh my God, I was in such reverence for these people. And so when I got there and I had to coach in front of them, all of a sudden I felt like this deer in headlights. And I'm like, what the heck, Linda, you are a good coach. You know, you're a good coach. What is this sudden drop in confidence? Like, what the heck just happened to you? Right. And so being a good coach, we walk our talk, we do our own work, we use our tools on ourselves. So every night, because I was feeling this, I had this less than attack. That's what happened. I just was totally feeling less than all the other coaches that were my cohorts becoming master coaches, certainly less than the master coaches and certainly less than the person running the company. And so I coached myself every night for 3 or 4 nights until I got to that unstoppable, unshakable point where there is zero reverence, where I am just as much. That's what I discovered. So a lot of times when people all of a sudden have this less than attack like I had, it goes back to the foundation of worthiness. And I know nobody wants to hear that, but it's true. This is why, same reason why it's hard to say no, why you say no when you mean, why you say yes when you mean no, right? There's all sorts of things. And it really that lack attack about myself, that less than attack that I was having, that was really rooted in I'm not as good. I'm not good enough, right? So those are we have triggers like that. That means that's where our work needs to be done, which everybody, I mean, I've been coaching for like 13 years and everybody's got some amount of not enough. I'm not enough, you know, and repairing that sense of worthiness. And I say sense of worthiness because your worthiness is intact and it's 1,000 bazillion%, but that's for another talk. But so your sense, your perception of your worthiness, that's the thing that got messed up. So when you can repair that, it's so much easier to have this, to cultivate this confidence that's true, that's ingrained in you. They just know, and you would never question, just like I never question how tall I am. I know how tall I am, right? So like, that's the kind of confidence we're talking about. That's where you want to get. So that's beautiful. So let's talk about cultivating unstoppable confidence. I segued into that a little bit, and I'd love to hear your thoughts, Meshell.
Well, you know, Linda, I'm gonna share a story because I realized that your response is you keep sharing stories, right? So I think I should probably share one too. Cultivating unstoppable confidence. What and why I do it is as I tell people, I was not raised to be confident. I was raised by 2 well-meaning, incredible people who both were brought up in the South where they were Jim Crow, right? So they actually saw colored only signs. My dad actually picked cotton. My grandfather was a sharecropper, his father. So I was taught to be a quiet, good Black girl, right? Southern Baptist, don't ask for too much. You get a job, it's good enough, right? Do not push the envelope, just be good enough, keep your head down, do good work. And at the same time, I had always had something in me that wanted more, that wanted to learn more, wanted to do more, was curious, right? So it kept compelling me, and the suppression of it got me in trouble. So I ended up, because I was asking all these questions and I was told to stop asking questions, to stop challenging the norms. And so as I tell people, everybody has this light inside of them. And when you don't illuminate your light, it will come out in another way. It can't not come out because it's the energy of who you are. And mine's turned into something where I started following people due to insecurity and other things that happened, because there was also alcoholism and abuse, and that happened transpire because of, you know, divorcing and remarrying and all these different things that happened in the household. And so what I found was, you know, once I did my little stint from incarceration, that I had followed a lot of people. I had made decisions based on my low sense of self-worth and esteem. And that if anything, if I was going to make bad decisions, it would be because I made them. So it was like my first recognition of what can I do that I know that I can do that I felt good about. And I knew how to work because I had been raised by two good, hardworking people. I knew how to work hard and work good. And that's why I started to build confidence. And I started noticing that opportunities and raises and promotions, anywhere I worked, I always got good rankings and everything always. And that's why I started to ask questions like, how can I do this in other categories of my life? And when I ended up in sales, well, sales, the companies that I work for in pharmaceuticals, the first one was Merck, which is the top company. So they pay people to come in and coach us and train us. And we have these national and regional meetings. That's when I started learning about self-development. So it was the journey of just being my best, that everything I was given, I would show up and be my best. And this is what I tell people. People could keep looking for more without giving more and being more. You must honor what you have wherever you are and do the best with what you're given at this moment in time today. Waiting for better to come tomorrow is a lie. If you're not delivering your absolute best all day, every day, better will never find you. It needs to connect with you, and it only connects with those that are delivering. So it's an equation of mass. It's the universal law of increase. If you're not doing something, cultivating, you will not get the harvest. So again, confidence is just the harvest of your belief in yourself and your consistent manner of reaching a target that far exceeds your capability, that pushes you past and outside your comfort zone and the fear, the second guessing, and the doubt. And the only way to erode anything that's causing you fear, angst, challenge, doubt, all of that, you've got to go through it. If you feel fear, face the fear. If you feel doubt, face the doubt. And if you can't do it alone, then you go find a community where people are talking about how they face it, and you listen and you ask questions, and then you go make the attempt. Thinking you're going to get it right the first time is what crushes confidence, because then you fail and then you're like, I suck. Nobody gets it right the first time. Most people don't get it right after a dozen times, and nobody ever gets it really, really right. They just get better, and then they forget that the possibility of wrong. So that's what creates confidence. And that's what I've experienced. And so my life of helping people is the fact that it took me the longest amount of time. It took me decades to be where I am. And so I have this incredible patience for the clients and the teams and the organizations that I work for. And I can hear the triggers, right? And I can speak to individuals and audiences in a way that they've never heard about how to illuminate and be the very best version of themselves.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So to cultivate confidence, I kind of have this little bit of a laundry list that came to me based on what you were saying. So I'd like to kind of add and punctuate some of the things that you said. So cultivating confidence is about doing the following. Discover what you're really good at, discover your gifts, and deliver them the best way that you can.
Yes.
Continue to cultivate personal growth and get help if you need it. from a community or from a coach like you or me, right? Be willing to suck. When you suck, it just means you're learning. And don't make it mean something about you. Be willing to suck at it.
I love that. Yeah.
Right? And finally, repair your sense of worthiness, because it doesn't serve anyone when you don't know just how worthy you are.
Exactly. And everybody has had a hard life. It just appears, it seems like somebody else has it easier. Most people think that their life sucks, believe it or not. Even when you're looking at people with trust funds and all that stuff, and living it like everybody. So the only thing you can do is repair yourself.
Right. And what I say is, don't compare your insides to everybody else's outsides.
I know. My mother used to say that to me all the time growing up. Stop comparing your insides to other people's outsides. Yes.
Yeah. So beautiful. Well, thank you so much, Meshell, for being on Conversations Worth Your While. I know in the area of confidence, you have something to share with our audience. Why don't you tell me about what it is?
Yeah, so I have compiled what I call a confidence starter kit, and it has some of the basics. Like whenever I work with clients or teams, and it's all around helping them to create that, compelling, unstoppable confidence in those targets that inspire them to keep going. And in spite of all the challenges and difficulties, it always starts with a clear, compelling vision. So one of the things I do every year, I've done it 8 years, in January, is I have an annual vision board party, and people create a vision board. And I also do an overview of why a vision is important. So I don't just have you do the board. I actually talk to you about what a vision actually is, vision versus goals and all of that. So I have the recording in there. There's a workbook to download to follow. It also has some other tools in there. I have you do a legacy work, which is your 90th birthday tribute. So there's a form in there. And then there's other things that you can download and print. And it will just really inspire and empower you to start on the path. It's not going to get you all the way there, and it's a great start.
Beautiful. And to our audience, I will put the link so that you can get Meshell's free gift into the description of this video. And I am Linda Bucher, and I love helping smart, multi-passionate high achievers to get out of their own way and unleash their potential so they can give their gifts to the world while living balanced lives. And I have a free gift as well. So our goals and our gifts, the place that we give them from is not the place where we start. Most of us start on the island of playing it safe, but that is not the place from which your goals, your dreams, and your gifts and your purpose can be realized. So you got to get off the island of playing it safe. And there's 3 stages that one will go through on their way off the island. And if you want to discover which stage you are in, are you an island dweller, a dock seeker, or an adventurer? Then you just got to take this 9-question little quiz that I have, and I will put the link to that as well into the resources below in this description. So remember to open that description, where you'll find free tools and resources and the contact information for Meshell and for myself. And don't forget to subscribe to this cool playlist. So once again, I'd like to thank you, Meshell, you confidence igniter, you, and I'd like to thank our audience for sharing your time with us today. And so until next time, make sure that you've made this conversation worth your while by fueling the spark it ignited.